My name is Alicia, and today I'm going to be talking about women, religion, and materiality. And I'm going to focus on the Satanic Temple and the ritual abortion. I'm going to start with so the Satanic Temple is an anti-theistic religion, which means that they don't believe in any deity, they do not believe in the devil, they do not believe in Satan, and they do not worship him. But what it is a religion that was started because the two founders wanted to decentralize religion from law. That is, they believed that most of the laws that were passed in the USA were based on religion, were based on religious bias. So the Satanic Temple is all about advocacy, empathy, and reason. And their mission is to encourage autonomous decision making and revert back to common sense. So, much like religion, they do have their testament, they do have 7 tenets, they call them, which are kind of like rules that anyone who is a member of the Satanic Temple goes by. And these, they call them the 7 tenets. And these are kind of like the 7 fundamental rules of the Satanic Temple. And the first one is one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason. The second one is the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. And you can see this on their website because they have fought for quite a lot of causes. Then the third one, which is one of the tenets we're going to be focusing on today, is one's body is inviolable, subject to one's will alone. This is bodily autonomy. The third one, which I'm also going to be focusing on, is the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own. The fifth one is beliefs should conform to one's scientific understanding of the world, which means one should take care to never distort scientific beliefs to fit scientific facts to fit one's belief. And then the last ones, people are fallible. If one person makes mistakes, a person should do their best to rectify it and justify their mistake. Then the last one is every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about why the satanic ritual of abortion became a thing and how the discourse surrounding abortion as like a whole kind of like inspired this, right? So this started because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And Roe v. Wade was a decision that allowed women to get abortions in all states of the United States. And this decision was overturned in a lot of states, which means that abortion became illegal in a lot of states. And abortion is like a very controversial topic because most of the laws, according to the Satanic Temple, they believe that most of the laws that are passed that concern religion that concern abortion were passed with religion in mind, because apart from religious reasoning, there's not really any common sense that would inspire making abortion illegal. Which brings me back to the 2 tenets of the Satanic Temple. Now, they believe in bodily autonomy and they believe in freedom of action, freedom of thought, they believe in personal freedom. And now I'm going to talk about how these 2 tenets, these 2 fundamental beliefs, materialized into the ritual abortion. So the Satanic Temple believes that women should have total control over their bodies. Actually, the Satanic Temple believes that everyone should have total control over their bodies. And this can be evidenced through their tenets, Tenet 3, 4, and 5. So Tenet 3, I'm going to bring you back. Tenet 3 says, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's will alone. 4, the freedom of others should be respected. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own. Then the 5th one says beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. one should never one should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. And basically because the Satanic Temple believes that women especially should have total control over their bodies, they decided to make abortion a religious ritual gives back bodily autonomy to women. And today we're going to discuss how each stage of the ritual embodies giving back women bodily autonomy, and how each of the stages of the ritual kind of just like gives back women control of their bodies and freedom to decide what to do with their bodies, what not to do with their bodies. Okay, so what's important for this ritual is that one should find a safe space for themselves. So this is a space where they're able to relax, a space where they're able to clear their mind, and they should center themselves. So you find a safe space and you kind of sit down with your thoughts for a minute and you center yourself. And then stage one, we're going to call this affirming personal sovereignty. What you need to have with you before you go into this ritual, you need to have a copy of the tenets and you need to have a copy of the affirmation. So stage one, which we're going to call affirming personal sovereignty. So what you do during this stage is you recite tenet 3 and tenet 4 and tenet 5, basically just telling yourself that my body, my will, and I'm doing this because I have the freedom to decide what's right for my body. And basically, this affirming personal sovereignty stage is kind of centered around the tenet that one's body is subject to their will alone. And this is just affirming that the decision belongs to the individual, not the state, not religion or society. So despite what the state tells you what you can do with your body, despite what religion has made you believe you are limits to what you can do with your body, or what society deems appropriate or inappropriate for you to do with your body, this stage is basically about affirming yourself that this is your body, this is your choice, and you've decided to make this decision for decisions best known to you that no one else has kind of like access to. And so after this, so this is usually you stand in front of a mirror and you affirm yourself. So you stand in front of a mirror, you say tenet 2, tenet 3, and then you center yourself. So the importance of centering yourself is to kind of like reassure yourself that you're in control of what's happening. So you have thought this through and you're in control. This is your decision and no one else is alone. So it's also kind of like to tune those outside voices out, to push out all those negative thoughts that have kind of like been imbued in your brain by society, by religion, or by your family. And so the bigger picture here in stage one is basically to reinforce individual rights, freedom to your body, to center control so that control is not distributed amongst a lot of other agents like society, the state, the courts, the hospital. Control is that's centering. It is only you and no other agents can kind of like encroach on this decision you've made. And it is also to remove, like I said, it's to remove external moral authority, because we all know what society thinks about abortion in case of morality, but abortion is not a question of whether you have morals or not. It's about whether you want the child or not, because a child is not a blessing, a child is a responsibility. So again, it's kind of just you taking all that in, remembering what made you make this decision, and just kind of like reassuring yourself. So you're this person that has all this outside influence, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, and the person in the mirror is basically just telling you that this is your body, this is your choice, and you've made the right choice. And you're gonna go through, and then there's obviously stage 2, which is going through the abortion itself. And during this, so you can have two different ways. So you can do a medical abortion, you can do a surgical abortion, but during this whole process, the whole point is to just remember that bodily autonomy, I'm doing this for myself, no one else should have a say. So basically during the procedure, you're supposed to be centered, you're supposed to be
just kind of calm. Yeah. And then after the procedure, so after the procedure is done, you have made this decision. The third stage is the post procedure affirmation. So this is, you don't have to do this in a mirror. You can just kind of like close your eyes again throughout this whole ritual. So centering yourself and just calling in that like energy of like individuality, and like you're a person apart from what the state believes, apart from what your church believes, apart from what Pastor Sam thinks. And you center yourself, kind of just like tune out all the outside voices. And this is where you now say the personal affirmation, which is, by my body, by my will, by my blood, it is done. And this is kind of like to tell yourself that, again, it says, by my body, my will, my blood, it is done. I've made this decision for myself. I've made this decision regarding my body, using my will. And this is basically to just reinforce that your choice was valid. You thought about it, your choice was valid. Whatever reasons you did it for, that was valid. And it's also to kind of like reinforce that your body remains your own. So you have gone through this whole ritual, and still your body remains your own because of bodily autonomy, right? And basically this is the whole process of going through the Satanic Temple religious abortion ritual.
And the Satanic Temple is actually opened two abortion clinics. They have one clinic which is the Right to Your Life Satanic Abortion Clinic, which is in the state of Virginia and was the second ever satanic abortion clinic available to them. And they have several different ways that you can get an abortion done, and this is through a third party for a surgical abortion, or they can ship the abortion pills to you at no cost. So the only cost that you have to cover is the cost of administration, but offer they offer the abortion pill to you for free. And this kind of, okay, and then the second one they have, which again, the Satanic Temple is very big on comical relief. And the second one is called Samuel Alito's Mom's Satanic Abortion Clinic. And this is named after Samuel Alito's mom. And for all those who don't know, Samuel Alito was the Supreme Justice on the overturning of the Roe v. Wade. And he authored the majority of the opinions in Dobbs versus Jackson's Women Health Organization. And this is, so the Dobbs v. Jackson's Women Health Organization is basically the organization that officially overturned the Roe v. Wade decision. Yes, this clinic was named after Samuel Alito's mom, and it's called the Samuel Alito's Mom's Satanic Abortion Clinic. And they have a 93% satisfaction review, so that's good. It is basically the Satanic Temple and the abortion ritual. So like I said, the abortion ritual is just to reclaim lost freedom, is to reclaim bodily autonomy, because even though the state can tell you what to do, they can't tell you what to do. I mean, they can, but they shouldn't have to tell you what to do with your body. Reclaiming that energy, or reclaiming your freedom, and yeah, your body is yours to do what you want with. And this is what the Satanic Temple believes. So there are two beliefs, there are three beliefs rather. There are tenets, so the three beliefs that are part of their 7 tenets kind of materialized into this abortion ritual, because they believed in bodily autonomy and the freedom to choose what one does with one's body. Thank you.